All right. Good morning, everyone. Apologies for the delay, and thank you for your patience and bearing with us. The time is 11:08, and I call this meeting to order. Mr. Saeed, can you please read the notice of the public meeting?
Chairwoman, this is a regularly scheduled meeting of the New Jersey Cannabis Regulatory Commission's 2025 annual meeting schedule. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in accordance with the Senator Byron M. Baer Open Public Meetings Act. Notice of the meeting was provided to the Asbury Park Press, Bergen Record, Courier Post, Star Ledger, and the Trenton Times on December 12, 2024. The agenda and information regarding the virtual nature of the meeting and the ability to live stream was also posted on the CRC website. The meeting time and location has also been posted on the website of the New Jersey Cannabis Regulatory Commission and with the Office of the Secretary of the State.
Thank you, Mr. Saeed. Can you please take roll call?
Commissioner Del Coso,
Present.
Commissioner Mapp,
You may be having technical difficulties.
sure.
Commissioner Mapp, are you able to hear us?
Let me go.
Hi.
Yeah,
Hi.
now we can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear.
We were just doing the roll call, Commissioner.
Oh, okay. Yes, hi.
Hi. So I'm going to call your name again. Commissioner Mapp,
Here.
Commissioner Nash,
Present.
Vice Chair Delgado,
Present.
Chairwoman Wainu.
Present. Thank you very much, Mr. Vice Chair. Appreciate your assistance there.
We
Welcome,
now have,
Madam Chairwoman. Anything for you.
we now have a quorum. The first order of business is for the Commission to go into executive session to discuss legal matters and litigation and investigation updates. These are discussions that are not shared with the public. We believe the executive session should take about 90 minutes.
Thank you. Is there a motion for us to go into executive session?
Madam Chairwoman, I move that the board goes into executive session.
I second.
Seconded by Commissioner Nash. Is there any discussion on this motion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
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 Hi.
All those opposed say nay. Any abstentions? Motion passes. So as Mr. Saeed noted, we expect the executive session to last approximately an hour and a half. We will leave the live stream running during that time. We can expect to resume the public portion of this meeting, let's say at 12:45. Thank you for your patience, everyone. All right, good afternoon. Welcome back. The time is 12:54, and we will resume the public portion of our meeting today. Mr. Saeed, can you please announce the next agenda item?
Next up on the agenda is approving the minutes of the Commission's open public session held on April 3rd, 2025. The minutes have been shared with the members of the Commission prior to this meeting.
Thank you. If there are no edits or changes needed to the April 3rd public session meeting minutes, we'll ask for a motion.
So moved, Madam Chair.
Commissioner Del Secoso moves to approve the meeting minutes for the April 3rd public session. Is there
Seconded.
seconded by Commissioner Nash? Is there any discussion on this motion to approve the meeting minutes? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. Any abstentions? Motion passes.
The next item up for consideration are the adult use cannabis business conversion license applications.
Thank you. I'll turn the floor over to Acting Executive Director Kirsten Riggs to give us a summary of those applications received.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There are two conditional to annual conversion applications up for approval today. Both of these licenses followed the licensing processes. They came through the portal and priority assignment was given where we confirmed that each application is assigned to the appropriate review priority, look at diversely owned business status, taxes, residency if required, and we can send out cures if needed. The next step is the priority verification process where we confirm that priority by looking at the documentation to confirm that it is submitted and that it also supports the priority designation that the individual application was submitted under. The next step is the completeness review in the Office of Licensing, where we confirm all required documentation is submitted. The application is then deemed complete, and we confirm that the document is actually filled out and all the required information has been submitted. The next step is that the application is scored, where the documents are reviewed to ensure that the applicant has submitted information to satisfy all the regulatory requirements and the notice of application acceptance. It next moves into the Office of Compliance and Investigations for a qualification review where individuals, financial sources, and other agreements are reviewed for regulatory compliance. Background checks are conducted if needed and are reviewed to ensure that all owners and persons of interest are qualified to operate in the cannabis space. The final process before recommendation is quality control, where the Office of Licensing, Office of Compliance and Investigation, and our legal team look at the application to confirm that it is indeed ready for board consideration. And then we make a recommendation to the board. Both of these applications have been reviewed, scored, and we are now recommending them for approval by the board today. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have the list of, there we go. Perfect. Thank you very much, Director McWhite. Are there any questions from the board regarding the conversion applications from conditional to an annual license? Hearing no questions from the board, is there a motion on this matter?
Madam Chairwoman, I move that we accept consideration of applicants to convert from conditional to annual for the two applicants, Class 1 cannabis cultivator and Class 5 cannabis retailer.
Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Del Secoso. Is there any discussion on this motion? Hearing no discussion, Mr. Saeed, can you please call the vote?
Commissioner Del Secoso,
Yes.
Commissioner Mapp, Commissioner Mapp, yeah. I still don't.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
I don't think she's on.
No, she's on.
She's on? Okay. Let's see. Oh, there she is.
Commissioner Mapp, try your headset. Maybe you're connected to your headset.
All right.
Just,
Let's have somebody swing over and
there you go.
Give her
She
some
just gave the thumbs up.
let's have somebody go over to Commissioner Mapp and assist with the sound issues with her, please. So Commissioner Mapp, your thumbs up is. All right, we will hold on. Mr. Said, let's come back to Commissioner Mapp.
Sure. Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Vice Chair Delgado, Vice Chair Delgado,
All right, looks like he has volunteered to be part of the rescue, the the tech rescue team. So we'll come back to him as well.
Chairwoman Waynu.
My vote is yes.
Okay.
Commissioner Mapp, if you can, for the time being, let's just have you sit next to one of the other commissioners, and we'll use their sound, their equipment.
Uh, in the meantime, Commissioner Delgado, how do you vote for this motion?
Yes.
Okay.
You can just put on a hold.
Oh, I vote for this motion.
Uh, all right, perfect. So the motion passes. The next item up for consideration are the adult use cannabis business annual license applications.
Thank you. Director Riggs, if you could please give us an overview of the annual license applications received.
Thank you, Madam Chair. All of these, there's 8 annual licenses. I believe we're going to take them in 2 separate votes because we do have a recusal on two of the applications. But there are 10 total. So right now, 10 total licenses up today. So you have 2 conversions and 8 annual. They followed the same licensing process that I just articulated. There was priority assignment, priority verification, completeness review. And I apologize, I misspoke. There are no recusals on these applications. The recusals are on renewal applications. And we will get to that in the future. So we will only have 1 vote on the 8 annual license applications, and they will all be presented to you in 1 tranche here. There is priority assignment given. We verified that priority. There was a completeness review. The applications were scored by the Office of Licensing. Qualification review was done in the Office of Compliance and Investigation. There was a quality control period. And then now we are recommending that these applications be reviewed for approval to the board. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Riggs. Are there any questions from the board for Director Riggs? Hearing no questions, is there a motion on this matter?
Madam Chair, I move that we adopt this resolution to consider the annual license applications for Class 1, Class 2, and Class 5 licenses.
I second.
Is there any discussion on this motion? Hearing no discussion, Mr. Said, can you please call the vote?
Commissioner Del Coso,
Yes.
Commissioner Mapp,
Yes.
okay. Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Vice Chair Delgado,
Yes.
Chairwoman Waynu.
Yes.
The motion passes. The next items up for consideration are the adult use cannabis business annual license renewal applications.
Thank you. Director Riggs, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So the renewals, we will have 2 separate votes because we do have a recusal here. I apologize for stating that previously, but we will do that here on the renewals. So right now, these renewals all follow the same licensing process. Adult use licenses are effective for 1 year from the issuance date. and they're required to be reviewed annually. All the documents and these entities have provided all the required documentations for their renewal. This documentation has been reviewed by the Office of Compliance and Investigations, and they have been deemed compliant and ready for renewal. The expanded 8D seats have also provided additional municipal support and approval if it's required under their first year of operations. And therefore, we are recommending that all applications up for consideration today are renewed by the board. And if we could just put up the list, that would be great. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the board for Director Riggs regarding this first group of, I believe, 20 annual license renewals? Hearing no questions from the board, is there a motion on this matter?
Madam Chairwoman, I move that we approved the resolution for the 20 applicant license renewal.
Moved by Vice Chair Delgado. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Del Coso. Is there any discussion on this motion? Hearing no discussion, Mr. Said, can you please call the vote?
Commissioner Del Coso,
Yes.
Commissioner Mapp,
Yes.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Vice Chair Delgado,
Yes.
Chairwoman Wenu.
Yes.
The motion passes. The next item on the agenda, we have consideration of annual renewal applications for the QCC Group LLC and Island Vibes. Commissioner Mapp has recused herself from these annual renewal applications for the QCC Group and Island Vibes due to an ongoing professional relationship. On account of her recusal, she will step out of the room while the board considers these particular applications. Afterward, Commissioner Mapp will come back in and will take up the next order of business.
Thank you, Mr. Said. I see that Commissioner Mapp has stepped away. So Director Riggs, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Same as the other renewals, both of these applications have entities have provided the required documentation for renewal, annual license. They need to renew it annually, and they are ready to go. So we are recommending that both of these applications be approved by the board today. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the board for Director Riggs? Hearing no questions, is there a motion on this matter?
Madam Chairwoman, I move that we renew the annual licenses for the QCC Group LLC and Island Vibes.
Moved by Vice Chair Delgado. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Del Coso. Is there any discussion on this motion? Hearing no discussion, Mr. Said, can you please call the vote?
Commissioner Del Coso,
Yes.
Commissioner Mapp,
Commissioner Mapp is recused.
oh, I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
Commissioner Mapp is recused. Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Vice Chair Delgado,
Yes.
Chairwoman Wenu.
Yes.
The motion passes. The next order of business, we have the open public comment period.
Before we get to the open public comment period, actually I want to add one other item to for us to consider here, and it is the rescission of Resolution 2025-312. This is a resolution that the Commission adopted on April 3rd that would I'm sorry, not April 3rd, but earlier this year, to waive a portion of our regulations and also adopt accompanying testing guidance. After further consideration and review from the board and the staff, there is a need for us to rescind this resolution to make sure that the Product Safety Packaging and Labeling Committee has the time and the space to conduct further review to provide additional context and feedback to the board for the waiver and the implementation of the testing guidance. So that question is before us today. Here, the rescission of resolution number 2025-312.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I move to rescind resolution 2025-312, approval of testing guidance.
Moved by Commissioner Nash. Is there a second?
Madam Chair, I enthusiastically second it.
Seconded by Vice Chair Delgado. Is there any discussion on this motion to rescind resolution 2025-312? Hearing no discussion, Mr. Said, can you please call the vote?
Commissioner Del Cid Coso,
Yes.
Commissioner Mapp,
Yes.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Vice Chair Delgado,
Yes.
Chairwoman Wenu.
Yes.
The motion passes. And now we have the open public comment period.
All right, so as we do at every meeting, before we get into the public comment period, I want to remind members of the public that you can submit your comments to the commission during or after this meeting in writing via our website, nj.gov/cannabis/meetings. The deadline for submitting written comments for today's meeting is 5:00 p.m. tomorrow, Friday, May 2nd. Written comments will be shared with the commission members and they will be made public. Speakers today will be limited to 3 minutes. Mr. Said will call out the names of our registered speakers in the order in which they registered. I will note that just to follow up from some of the comments that we had received at our last board meeting, the commission is actively working with the Department of Agriculture on interpretation of the hemp laws to resolve any outstanding questions about the application of the hemp statutes and their applicability in the cannabis industry. So I do anticipate some definitive guidance and information going out on that question soon. And we'll continue to work with our partners at the Department of Agriculture and in the industry to make sure that our cannabis operators are operating safely, responsibly, and in accordance with applicable statutes. So with that, Mr. Said, can you please call on our first speakers?
Thank you, Chairwoman. As a reminder, public speakers during this afternoon's public comment period will be limited to 3 minutes. Please be respectful and concise during your comments. The first person on the list is David Franciosi. If you're in the room, please raise your hand. David Franciosi. I don't see that person. The next person is Reginald Green. If you're in the room, please raise your hand. Reginald Green. The next person on the list is Marissa Van Vechten. If you're in the room, please raise your hand. Marissa Van Vechten. The next person on the list is Thomas Norcia. If you're in the room, please raise your hand. All right, I see you, Thomas. Give me 1 second. Thomas, you have the floor.
This is Thomas Norcia from GrowWorks and the New Jersey Hemp Growers Association. So I'm just going to bring up the same thing I've been bringing up. I'm going to go off our email chain with you guys and off our meeting with you guys. You know, at first you guys started off by saying that no material was coming from out of state. It was only CBD distillate from your material. Now that you guys are made aware that stuff is coming over state lines, now it's like you're trying to strong arm the Department of Agriculture into interpreting definitions the way you want to interpret them. Meanwhile, we've been operating, this is my 6th year growing. You know, and we've been doing these laws now for 5+ years, and now you guys just come in and interpret things the way you want to interpret. Now, I'm glad there's actually something in the works, but now it should be like your attorneys, your people, the Department of Agriculture and their attorneys show up on my farm and let's have this conversation, because it's not just inputs, it's plants. Clones coming over state line. Your people use the excuse, oh, it's hemp. Well, we have to be certified. Things have to be registered. So there's a lot of stuff going on that really needs to be cleared up. You know, just the fact that, you know, like your stuff coming in, I get you guys say the inputs, it's hemp, it's coming over state lines, but how do you know the distillate coming in is how do you know it's not 5%, 6%? That means that you have federally THC that they're saying is federal because it's hemp, but it's hot, and now your people are using it. The Department of Agriculture should be testing it. Just like if I were to buy someone else's material from out of state to put it in my product, they check it. Even if it's not hot to begin with, they make sure what it is and that it's legal. So if your people are bringing in distillate and it's 0.4, it's not legal hemp distillate. And I know what's happening because I'm a hemp grower and I know what happens in all these states. Really get with these people, figure it out. We do appreciate you guys saying that we could put our inputs into your program, but we are set up as boutique farms. We won't make even a percentage of our money back if we grow for just inputs. And even at the input thing, you guys are advising us to break the law. The law in the New Jersey hemp program is we can only give these inputs and clones and stuff to other people that are licensed in a hemp program. It's clear as day. Now, Riggs, if you would have read what I gave you last month, it's clear as day in there. We can only transfer stuff to people in program. That means they're not in our program. They can't get it. So just because you say, hey, we'll let you do it, doesn't mean that it's legal. Now, you guys had a hemp thing. I mean, after the psychoactive hemp ban, you had so many days to come out with laws and regulations. The last thing said was there were so many days. We know there's a
10
lawsuit, but there was
seconds.
never anything else coming up on that. So put out a statement saying something. You said it was illegal, but there's no enforcement. I'm a licensed business. I can't operate that way. I was 20 years illegal. I'm trying to be legal. Just because there's no enforcement doesn't make it legal. I'll end there. You know, get your people out to my farm, get your inspectors out here with Department of Agriculture, and let's work this out.
Okay. The next person on the list is Jessie Marie Villers. If you're in the room, please raise your hand. Jessie Marie Villers. I don't see that person. The next person on the list is Alan Truskowski. If you're in the room, please raise your hand. Alan Truskowski. I don't see that person. The next person is Chief Vincent Mann. If you're in the room, please raise your hand. All right, I see you. Yeah, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. My comments really are in line with the owner of GrowWorks New Jersey. You know, we made it very clear the last time, last month. You all have our emails. You all have access to us in any way, shape, or form. And I feel a little bit like our intelligence, whether it inadvertently or on purpose, has been questioned. We have been around longer than the cannabis business has been around in the state of New Jersey. There is federal compliance on the hemp side. I will say it again, that when Mr. Riggs told us that the manufacturers were allowed to bring hemp-derived products over the border to put them into their products, I asked him, he shook his head yes. Then I asked him, was that a yes? And he said yes. And then we were told to go look in the CREM Act to find the information that we needed. And of course, we couldn't find it. 5 of us couldn't find it, and other people couldn't find it. And then we reached back out to the senior counsel for the CRC, who then gives us back the information that we were searching for. And that took nearly a month for that to take place. But in that email, it states very clearly that anybody who's a manufacturer who's holding a cannabis license must utilize their plants and get those other specific cannabinoids out of them.
60 seconds.
Again, they are breaking the law. They're breaking the law, breaking the law, and breaking the law. When it comes to the hemp side of it, they need to have a hemp license. If they don't have a hemp license, they cannot handle hemp. I cannot take GrowWorks New Jersey's hemp over to my farm and turn it into a product without having a processing license from the hemp department, from the state agriculture. You had 180 days to come up with rules and regulations, and yet we still haven't seen those. We are suffering, and you all are continuing to allow it to happen by your inactions. And if you are doing something that we don't know about behind the scenes, it only makes sense that you actually speak to the people that you're talking about. There's only 38 of us here in the state of New Jersey. This needs to be rectified. Thank you.
The next person on the list is Isaac Seaman. If you're in the room, please raise your hand. Isaac Seaman. The next person is Zachary Duffy. If you're in the room, please raise your hand. Zachary Duffy. For Zachary Duffy, it's the last four is 2680. If you're in the room, it is *9 to raise your hand and *6 to unmute. Okay, I don't see that person. The next person is William Crudup. Last four of the telephone is 8404. If you're in the room, please raise your hand. I don't see that person. The next person is Ashley Jordan Brownstein. Last four is 0697. And again, if you're calling in, it's *9 to raise your hand and *6 to unmute. The next person on the list is Gabriella Wilday. Last four is 4375. I don't see that person. The next person is Harishikesh Vimadalal. If you're in the room, please raise your hand. That is last four, 4465. I don't see that person. The next person is Dr. Eliza Brevard Rodriguez. If you're in the room, please raise your hand. And the last four of that is 1033. I don't see that person. The next person is Lindsay Shaw. Last four is, okay, I see you. Just give me 1 second. You have the floor, Lindsay.
Hi, my name is Lindsay Shaw. I'm the owner of Brighter Side Canopy. We are a micro cultivator, and I wanted to take this time to provide some genuine feedback to the board on a couple topics that I think we could potentially streamline and get better results. So the first topic has to do with 6-month extension on products. My request to the board is that they consider a 5-day turnaround time on approving the request for extension. Upon providing the necessary paperwork to a field agent, being that it's a letterhead with your company name, the initial test, the retention sample test, and all the proper paperwork filled out, it would appear to be very black and white on approval. I'm assuming that you have some sort of variance when it comes to determining THC stability. With that said, once you have all the information, as I mentioned, it's pretty black or white. It's pass or fail. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I'm seeing 20 plus days in response to approving 6-month expiration dates. And I really think 20 plus days really eats into that 6-month time. And so today I just asked the CRC to really consider looking at a 5-day turnaround time upon submittal to your field agent for those 6-month expirations. My next topic has to do with site plan modification. I was fortunate enough to participate in a microbusiness virtual meeting with some of the CRC board members that are sitting there today. And I was very happy to see that my feedback was taken very well, and even some verbatim language was used at the last meeting. So this is a continuation on that. Brighter Side Canopy is in the process of a site plan modification as we speak. And again, it really stems from not knowing the initial rules and regulations when we have submitted for our license way back when. And so what I'm bringing up today is I asked the board to really consider categorizing your site plan modification request. Is it a minor or is it a major? And with that said, if it's a minor, if you're not changing a tier, it shouldn't have to. I'm requesting that the CRC provide a 60-day turnaround time. If it's a major plan, so you're changing a tier size, you're building a new building, of course, that's a major. It needs more review and more study. And I'm bringing this up because I saw that Hamilton Farms and Brute's Roots had submitted site plan modification in October and August respectfully, and they were approved in February. I'm just saying that's a very long time period for people who are operational. And someone like myself who is a micro business and really needs to be at 100% capacity, I just genuinely ask that some consideration be made when you're not switching tiers within your site plan submittal. Again, thank you so much for your time. I hope this feedback on just these few topics can be seriously considered. I think it can really streamline the process for operators as well as consumers waiting on product to be released. So again, thank you so much for your time. I look forward to speaking with you guys all again soon. Thanks.
Okay, the next person is Mahim Gupta. If you're in the room, please raise your hand. Okay. Mahim, you have the floor. Just unmute yourself.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Hello. My name is Mahim Gupta. So I just wanted to, make a comment. We heard and saw from the NJ-EDA and NJ-BAC, and I thought their, updates were important, and I think it's incredibly important for businesses getting started, especially the smaller operations. I just wanted to ask that maybe we can focus on some of the results to come out of this, and maybe focus on them more on social media and maybe on the site, and then maybe just so we can show what the successes that are coming out of this, and see some of the testimonials from specific businesses that have completed the training, that are doing well, the grants as well, and maybe just one more small thing. If you could, I don't know, think about maybe creating some kind of open forum for, if not at least just for the people who are doing the training or who have completed it. Maybe they can, have some kind of discussion online. They can have an open space for them to discuss. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. The next person on the list is Todd Johnson. If you're in the room, please raise your hand. All right, I see you, Todd. All right, Todd, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Good afternoon, Chair Wainu, Commissioners, Executive Director Riggs, Director McWhite, and CRC staff. My name is Todd Johnson, and I'm the Executive Director of the New Jersey Cannabis Trade Association. Our membership is comprised exclusively of CRC licensed cannabis businesses operating in New Jersey. Today, I'm providing comments on two topics: the recently announced revised testing guidance and the decision to rescind provisional badging for new employees. I'm going to speak quickly, but I also want to express our appreciation that you did rescind the testing guidance and are going to take more time to really think and work with stakeholders to make it a policy that works for all, including those that are operating under your regulations. With regards to the revised testing guidance, the revisions present numerous inconsistencies and ambiguities. Our members have reported conflicting information from field monitors, and labs have told us directly that they are struggling to navigate unclear directives. Our association has submitted critical questions to you, the Commission, that remain unanswered, thereby creating a compliance landscape that is unclear and subject to a variety of interpretations. Some of this uncertainty can be attributed to a lack of communication with and feedback from stakeholders. This could have been averted with a proper public comment period. In fact, such significant changes to testing standards require a formal rulemaking process, including a mandated comment period as required by state law. Beyond the procedural concerns, the revised testing guidance imposes substantial burdens on the industry. The introduction of interim testing, for example, adds unnecessary costs, redundancy, and delays without a corresponding increase in safety. The 6-month expiration date mandate saddles business with further limitations and runs counter to 12-month expiration adopted by many other states. We have heard directly from standalone manufacturers and dispensary operators that this mandate is particularly detrimental as product
60
must
seconds.
be significantly discounted just a short time after it reaches dispensary shelves. Retail cannabis prices have dropped nearly 20% over the past year, delighting consumers and this commission. However, our members calculated that these new testing requirements will lead to an annual increase of up to $2 million per operator. This increase, coupled with existing financial pressures and threats of higher taxes, could reverse the declining price trend and lead to higher prices for all products, thereby making legal products more expensive and harder to compete with the unregulated market. We urge the Commission today to delay the implementation of the revised testing guidance to allow for proper public comment and more thoughtful consideration of the numerous ways in which it impacts the state's supply chain. Safety is paramount, but many of the revised changes have no impact on safety. Final product testing remains in effect for each and every product that ends up on a dispensary shelf. I will address provisional badging very briefly. By eliminating provisional badging, the CRC is encouraging a discriminatory hiring environment. Prospective employees with any prior conviction will be overlooked and downgraded by hiring managers due to the potential for longer wait times for background checks to be completed and badges approved. We all want to give opportunities to individuals who have non-disqualifying convictions. Eliminating provisional badging leads to the exact opposite outcome. It will keep these individuals out of the new and legal industry, thereby giving them fewer opportunities to advance their career in cannabis. Please reconsider this decision to rescind provisional badging and more thoroughly analyze its ramifications. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you. The next person on the list is Thomas Coots. If you're in the room, please raise your hand. That is last four. Oh, I see you, Thomas Coots. Thomas, the floor is yours.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello, my name is Thomas Coots. I'm here on behalf of Grow to High, and I would like to address some of my concerns with recent changes in regulations. First, Governor Murphy recently made a budget recommendation to increase to $15. This has vast consequences for cultivators in New Jersey, in particular for micro business cultivators. Cultivators already have it hard in their position in the industry, and they are dependent on all different avenues of sale. This often leads to incredibly competitive marijuana pricing, which leaves very little margin for cultivators. By increasing to a $15 C fee, you would be eliminating the cultivator class. This is doubly so for the micro business cultivators. With micro business cultivators, you have a much lower amount of sellable cannabis at any point. You are also much more at the behest of the market conditions. It would be prudent under these conditions to apply for multiple licenses to better meet market demands and demand through multiple classes in the industry. A micro business cultivator on its own under a $15 C fee, in our opinion, is going to suffer. Also to add, the idea of full licenses starting off as a micro business indicates to me that it would be a good introduction period for to a business. But if they're unable to hold multiple licenses, it would provide a poor introduction period. I'd like to recommend grandfathering in all the licenses that were already approved in this way. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas. I'm just going to go over the list again of the names I called out that didn't get a chance to speak. David Franciosi, if you're in the room, please raise your hand. Reginald Green, if you're in the room, please raise your hand. Marissa Van Vechten, if you're in the room, please raise your hand. Jessie Marie Villers, if you're in the room, please raise your hand. Alan Truskowski, if you're in the room, please raise your hand. Isaac Seaman, if you're in the room, please raise your hand. Zachary Duffy, last 42680. If you're in the room, please raise your hand. William Crudup, if you're in the room, please raise your hand. Ashley Jordan Brownstein, if you're in the room, please raise your hand. Gabriella Wilday, if you're in the room, please raise your hand. Hireshikesh Vimadalal, if you're in the room, please raise your hand. Dr. Eliza Brevard Rodriguez, if you're in the room, please raise your hand. Chairwoman Wainu, this will conclude the registered speakers we have for today's public meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Said, and thank you to everyone who shared their thoughts and their recommendations with the board. Again, anybody who was not able to share comments with us today, or if anyone wanted to share comments that they weren't able to get to, you can submit your comments to us in writing by going to our website before and submitting your written comments to us before 5 o'clock p.m. tomorrow, Friday, May 2nd. That concludes the business that we have before us today. And so with that, I move that we adjourn today's meeting. Is there a second?
I second.
Seconded by Vice Chair Delgado. Is there any discussion on this motion to adjourn? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor of adjourning say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. Any abstentions? The motion passes. The time is 1:38 p.m. and we are adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great rest of the day.